Webtoon Week has had a lot of cheat days, and this is one of them. What makes a protagonist popular? Every now and then, when a show or movie becomes extremely popular, some prominent characters end up being inescapable for a length of time. If you know anything about characters that aren't 2D, Wednesday's Wednesday, played by Jenna Ortega, Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman in The Batman, and Zendaya as the one girl in That One Thing have all achieved such status before. On a significantly smaller scale, the same happens from time to time in the communities the people in the thumbnail come from. But why? Kenchan here, feeling as exhausted as whatever god is responsible for killing your childhood aspirations. Let's get going. Before a character can explode in popularity, they first need to leave an impact on the audience, the kind of thing that makes them memorable. For this, I present to you Alucard. For years, he was a titan of the anime community, about as prominent as Jujutsu Kaisen Satoru Gojo at least. But why? Well, the same reasons people love Gojo. Too much drip, call it faucet failure. They have incredible character designs. Visually, they're distinct and cannot be mistaken for anyone else. They have larger-than-life personalities and boundless charisma, capable of controlling their surroundings, and well, they're just cold. These are characters you look at and think, he's him. You're as compelled by them as any characters they encounter within the story because they just have that energy about them. To go back to Alucard, who is the actual protagonist here, he's an overwhelming and undying creature ripped straight from the nightmares of man as he lays waste to legions of enemies with a pair of giant handguns. A devious and deliberate smile never leaves his face, and he lives fast and loose on the border between life and death. He's better than you, he knows it, and he'll show it. That's Alucard, and no one can ever forget it. But there's a problem with that. That's not the kind of character you can have experience growth over a length of time. That's not a character who will face sufficient challenges to make a lengthy story engaging. He's designed for a short and intense series that keeps you hyped every second of the journey. Not all stories want that, so how do other series end up with similarly spectacular phenomena? By trying not to be spectacular at all. Kim Dok-ja, the protagonist of Omniscient Reader, is our token webtoon character to make this video legal. He's the star of my most viewed long-form video among those I haven't made private, so people must love him, right? Again, I ask, but why? Well, for all the opposite reasons as Alucard. He's just a guy. He benefits from leading a story with well-written characters all across the board. Readers are more likely to commit to a story long-term if they can feel attached to one of its characters, and because OmniReader provides several worthy characters, the effect is amplified. As long as Kim Dok-ja was inoffensive as the main character, he'd be able to profit off the success of the wider world. If that was all he was, though, his popularity would have a much lower ceiling. As far as regular Joes go, he's the king. He only weakly demonstrates emotions, and he's at most times passive if he isn't trying to stay alive. But that's the result of the tragedies of his past. He's someone who sunk himself into one story, the one fictional world he loved above anything else as an escape from his deeply disheartening reality. He feels like he lives life day to day, but that just might be because it was the only way he really could stay physically and mentally intact until this point in his life. He's been sad, and we just want to see him catch a dub for once. He's a protagonist you want to cheer on and love, much like Ranking of Kings is Boji or Fushi from To Your Eternity. A stark contrast to that Denji guy everyone seems to be talking about that I guess I have to follow up with. He's relatable. I probably talked all about why people loved him and how he benefits from anime culture in the cult video, so you can go watch that. But to pad this video a bit more, it all came down to him being someone we rooted for because we could sympathize with the feeling of receiving unjust treatment despite only wanting basic things that had no business being hard to obtain. Really, he's the right mixture of the previous two, switching between sad life, regular guy, and super unique design, crazy dude. That mix is probably why he and Chainsaw Man have ascended so far beyond either individual option, despite it being... Let me move on before I get out of hand. Of course, if you go on for 40 years and have hundreds of episodes like Dragon Ball or the Big Three, you'll end up being popular, so I left that out. But I hope I shared some insight and kept you entertained enough to keep watching the videos I put out through Webtoon Week. I am writing these scripts randomly, so if this is the last video, like I think it should be, comment down below and tell me which day was your favorite. If I don't feel like people want these videos, I'll try something else. This has been Ken-chan. Subscribe to make me feel accomplished. See ya next time.